6:41 on your Friday morning. Let's get to Legally Speaking with attorney Dave Betras. We're going to hit on a few topics this morning. Let's start with the man from Maryland who was wrongfully deported to El Salvador, to an El Salvador prison.
Yeah.
This is where due process comes in, right?
Yeah, so everyone says, when I talk to people about this, oh, these people are terrible people. They need, yes, terrible people need to be deported from this country. You are an illegal alien in this country. You commit a crime. You should be not here. However, there was a guy back in the 1700s. His name was George. Before his name George, it was called King George.
Yes.
And what did King George do to Americans? He rounded them up, gave them no due process, imprisoned them for speaking against the king. And that is why our framers put into the Bill of Rights the concept called due process. Now, it doesn't have to be any kind of an elaborate due process, but it has to mean you get some due process. So chalk this up for a win for due process. Every person in this country gets due process of law. And so that's really, and it was a 9-0 decision. So these justices are saying that you must be given. It is a fundamental, nothing more fundamental in this country than be given due process of law. Now we could dovetail into a new law that went into effect in Ohio called Liv's Law. Yes. It was named after a woman by the name of Olivia Wright, who was killed by a drunk driver. And I want to tell people out there, listen, do not drink and drive. Big no. Yeah. They have increased the penalties now. So, you know how we talk about murder cases and, you know, felony levels. So felonies go from a felony 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a felony 5.
Okay.
So they've increased the penalties. If you are drinking and driving and you kill someone, first offense, it is now a felony 2. That means 2 to 8 years in prison. Now here's where they put the teeth in the tiger. On a second tier under Liv's Law. So if within the last 20 years, so think about that, from 2025, from 2005 to 2025, if you've had one prior DUI and you are drinking and driving and kill someone, it goes to a felony 1. That's the same level as a murder case. Wow. So that's 3 to 11 years. And if you're driving without a license, it goes to a level 2. So people out there, don't drink and drive. Yeah. Then they come up with a level 3. That means if you have 2 prior DUIs within the last 20 years, you are going to spend anywhere from 5 to 15 years. And lastly, there's a level 4, 3 prior DUIs in the last 20 years, and you get caught, it's 12 to 20 years in prison. They also put an oral swab, an implied oral swab. So if you're out there and you're drinking and driving, they say, do you want to take the chemical test? You can refuse, and then there's penalties of it. One of the implied things now is they can go in and take an oral swab, not use it as evidence of drinking and driving, but use it as evidence to bolster the drinking and driving offense. Because when you fail one of those tests, it is a per se violation, meaning the jury could say, oh, this is per se. This by law is a definition of drinking and driving.
Okay. So do you think with the increased penalties, we just have a few seconds left, that this will deter people from drinking and driving?
With
That's
Lyft,
the hope.
with Lyft and Uber out there, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And before we leave, I want to say to Mara, Tim, Jim, and David, Brian was supposed to do the show this morning. He was too tired. I said, Brian, you're in town. I'm too tired. He's 10 years younger than me. He's too tired. He doesn't know those people's names. I not only picked up the donuts, I double tipped the guy that I picked. How much tip did Brian give you? $5? I gave him $50.
Oh.
Okay, and then I brought him in. Brian's a big tipper. And then I brought him in. I brought them in, and I served Tim, Mara, Jim, and Tim, and Brian. You don't even know their names, so there.
Oh my
there
gosh.
we go. We got, of course, Rafe's great stuff over there.
Dave, you're the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.